Hey all you Clear Lake peeps, Ross England here with Clear Lake Guide Service. Hope you're having a good week. It's a little toasty out here right now, as you can see behind me. It's a pretty nice day, and actually, believe it or not, even though it's probably going to be 100 plus, which what's the difference once it's over 100, there's actually a fairly nice cool breeze hitting me in the back right now, so it's probably about the best I've felt since this morning. So let's talk about Clear Lake, what's going on, kind of try to bring you up to speed. Those of you who are kind of new here, let me explain how some of this stuff works to you. For a long time I've had a Facebook page. It's called Clear Lake Guide Service, real original. And on that I actually will put stuff that I can't figure out how to get into a video format. So there's some information that I posted from the Department of Water Resources here in Lake County that shows projections of what the lake might do, how it compares to the year 77. There's also some information that I posted in there about construction that's going on at the 3rd and 5th Street launch ramp in downtown Lakeport. So don't care whether you get on Facebook or not. Those of you who are on it, you'll find information on there that at times I can't present here. So it's just to kind of keep you up to speed. The second part of this is reminding everybody I am a guide service, and the fishing's pretty good. If you feel like you want to catch some fish, get in touch with me. You can check out my website at clearlakeguideservice.com. You can book a trip there without even talking to me, or you can just take a look and see what's available and give me a buzz. And honestly, that's the best thing to do, is pick an available date that you're interested in and get in touch with me. A text is probably the best way. Email is probably second. Phone is third and last, because I very rarely answer any phone calls anymore due to all the spam that flies around. So, enough of that stuff. Fishing's pretty good. Let's talk about conditions. Conditions are, the lake has hit -1 Rumsey. So we anticipate that if not next week, the week after, probably Redbud is going to close their launch ramp. They've said -1.2 is their threshold. So we're at -1. Condition of the water, I got to tell you, the last week and a half or so is pretty darn good compared to what it was. I mean, there's a number of different colors of water, but most of it looks pretty good. If you get down to some of the extreme areas, like in the Keys, maybe even down around Redbud, there's some areas around down there that the water is pretty nasty. What little water is there. But I'll tell you what, I've run around a lot. Currently I'm sitting out off of, we'll call it Henderson, but kind of out in the mouth of the Narrows. And everywhere I'm looking around here, there's no algae floating on the surface, there's no slime. The water looks pretty doggone good, and that's the case. I ran into a little bit of it down in the Redbud Arm today, and a very, very minor amount of it in the Redbud Arm. So overall, it's really headed in the right direction and looking good, which is typical for this time of year. Water temperature starts out at 80, 81, and we'll get up to 84, 85, maybe 86. Your mileage may vary depending on, the accuracy of the units on your boat, but it's warm. Okay, launch ramps. The only ones that are available right now, Clear Lake Oaks. Currently Redbud is, but probably won't be within the next 2 weeks. County Park is still open, and I don't know how people are launching there, but I've seen some 19-foot boats launch there, and they seem to be getting by just fine. So I'll tell you that. I've seen it happen. I'm not doing it. 3rd Street was closed this Monday and actually the parking lot between 3rd and 5th Street is going to be renovated. It's supposed to go all the way through the first week of November, and I'll tell you, it was a mess there this morning. They're outside of all the construction vehicles and everything. There was probably 10 to 12 parking spaces. It filled up pretty quick, and I know some of the work is going to be done at night, but anyway, 3rd Street is closed, and it will be that way probably through the rest of the winter until we get some rainfall. 5th Street continues to be open. As I've told you before, there's a mark on one of the docks there, and the distance between my rear axle on my trailer and that mark was 2 full steps, which is about 6 feet. So 5th Street's still going to be usable for probably a couple months. Haven't heard any word yet on what the threshold is when they might close 5th Street. It's kind of interesting because the deal that Water Resource Board's put out actually in a worst case scenario showed a -4 and change Rumsey for the year before we start to get rain, and unfortunately it doesn't look like we're going to get a whole lot of rain this next year either. So there's your conditions. And we talked about the launch ramps. Fishing. Actually, fishing's been pretty good. We've caught fish shallow, we've caught fish deep. Jim and I were out yesterday, and we had between 24 and 25 pounds with no big fish, just really good solid fish. And the majority of the better fish that we've been catching have been coming on topwater. It's a variety of topwater baits. So I was out again today, obviously, to be able to do this for you folks. And my 3 best fish today were all topwater. One of them about an hour ago. So this is kind of typical for this time of year. And don't get me wrong, you're not going to go out. Well, Jim and I whacked them pretty good the other day, but generally you're not going to go out and just catch a ton of fish. It's just when you get a bite, it's going to be a better one. So we caught fish on topwater this week, little swim bait, Ned rig, drop shot, shaky head. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, that's probably it. I'm always missing something that I think about after I do one of these. But most of our fish were probably less than 5 feet of water, and probably a third of our fish were 12 to 19. I fished a little bit deeper this morning, and I didn't get bit. What I did today was I just said, okay, I'm going to go out. Main purpose of going out, because I was tired from yesterday, was just to make sure I got this video shot. I said, okay, I'm going to just hit a bunch of spots, and if I catch 2 fish, I'm going to leave. If I spend 15 minutes and don't catch 2 fish, I'm going to leave. And 8 of the 10 spots that I hit, I caught 2 fish on. A number of them were the first 2 casts. And then, the 2 places I blanked on, I probably could have stayed there half a day, and I apparently wasn't going to get bit on them. And it was a variety. I mean, it was junk fishing 101. I had 6 rods on the deck, and I caught fish on all 6 rods. So I think the fishing's actually pretty good. It's just that you just can't go anywhere and catch them. I mean, you've got to know where to find them. You've got to know what you're doing. Once you find them, the fish will teach you what you need to do real quick. These fish are aggressive. Some of them, it's like in videos past, some of them you're in an area and actually they're just plump and really looking awesome shape. And then others you're in areas and every one of them you hook is a skinny fish that you think, man, you haven't eaten all summer long. So it's kind of, there's a lot of fish that we've caught we would call a 4-pounder based on the frame, but when you turn them sideways, all of a sudden they shrink to 3s. So right now, at least for us, it takes a pretty beefy fish to hit 5 pounds, and we've been catching a few. So it's kind of been fun because there for a long time. You know, 3.5 and a 3 3/4 were about the best fish that we could get going. So I still haven't spent any time up on the upper end of the lake. Everything has been from the narrows down below, and it'll probably continue to be that way for another couple weeks. So there you have it. There's our report for Clear Lake for this week. Keep an eye. I'll probably post some pictures on our Clear Lake Guide Service Facebook page about some of the fish that we've been catching the last couple weeks. I realized the other day that I haven't been doing a very good job of posting pictures, so people might think that we're actually not fishing, but we're working. We want to work some more. Love to have a few more trips in August and September. So appreciate you listening, appreciate you watching, for those of you that stuck with us all to this time, and thanks. We'll talk to you next week.